Hello, hello. Who we have here? Welcome everyone on our today pretty quick stream. Can you type in chat who am I with today? Let's see. We will wait just very quickly. Very short actually. So, anyone in the chat? Say hi. Wow, we have the poll. It seems like most of you are full stack ninja developers. Hassan Ali, hi. I will try to see. Hello, Hasnain Ali. Hello, Alexandru. Where are you from, guys? I'm streaming from Poland, from the Central Europe. I would like to know actually where you are guys from. Just a quick warm up. From UK, right? I have a little bit of delay. We have from UK, from Romania. Welcome, guys. Okay. So first of all, today we will have quite of a short presentation. It will be very straight to the point this time. So without further ado, let me make it a little bit bigger. So you see the slides, you see the presentation, and we can start. Just give me a thumbs up. Hello, Peter from Germany. Yeah, Peter, did you see the results of the poll? Actually, it changed a little bit since you voted. But anyway, today's presentation is called 7 Steps to Ultra Secure Web Applications, free workshop. So I believe you would need about half an hour today. We will go through some process which I believe would be helpful in order to understand this concepts of security over web applications. It will help you map out what it actually means to build secure web applications. And after that, as I promised, I will invite you officially to Web Security Academy program. So before we start, some people may not know me yet. My name is Bartosz Pietrucha, and I'm the founder of Web Security Academy, which is the project under Dev Academy, which started in 2017 under Angular Academy. I hold master's degree in computer science, and I have quite of a decent experience working for large companies like Credit Suisse, UBS, F-Secure, Tecno3, building enterprise software. And Web Security Academy is an international project with students all over the world that you will be able to join today. We focus on actually making web applications ultra secure. Just a little bit of intro about myself, because who am I to teach you? So maybe it would be a little bit worthwhile to give you an insight of my experience as a person who had been actually doing this for a couple of years now in terms of teaching, coming from my experience as a developer. So even you can check it on Google, type my name in the Google and check out some videos. You will see some of the recordings of many different international conferences focusing on web applications. So that's all. I hope I built a little bit of authority in your eyes. Now our process of 7 steps. So in my opinion, what we need to understand at the very, very, very beginning in order to think about web applications security is to understand the model of web security. So basically, there are a lot of different pieces to connect in order to understand how browsers actually execute the website logic, code, content. And here are just a couple of examples. We need to understand how same origin policy, content security policy work, and other mechanisms that actually are baked in mostly actually into the browser. Content security policy, cross-origin resource sharing, sub-resource integrity, hashes, nonces, secret signatures, and so on. So this would be the foundation to understand actually what is this thing actually about in order to progress in our journey. The second step, in my opinion, is to actually understand common yet still very serious security vulnerabilities, and there are proven strategies and ways to prevent them if you are aware of them, of course. So if you have not seen yet, OWASP Top 10 is a project by this awesome organization that is trying to actually gather this information into one place, and they have this document called OWASP Top 10 that lists 10 most important security issues regarding web applications. And for example, one of those common issues may be cross-site scripting, which is deadly when it comes to the vulnerability, and how it actually makes possible to break the app. So if imagine that you have some attacker, a hacker, and vulnerable website. It can be any website that has something more than just plain text. If it's like an online shop, some social network platform, something that makes some actual business. So imagine that that person is able to inject through many different ways some malicious code, and it may steal cookies, it may even execute queries on behalf of the logged user, maybe an online shop, and make some purchases, right? So basically cross-site scripting allows to execute arbitrary code if actually application is vulnerable inside of the application and the user may not be aware of that. So this is just an example of one of the vulnerabilities which are serious, and we know how to prevent them, but we need to understand how it actually works under the hood. And now we have the step number 3, which is I would say more of a design and architecture issue, because it has to be based on the non-functional requirements, and it has two perspectives. Choose a proper authorization architecture. What I mean by that, because application authorization architecture may be created in many different ways, and we can actually categorize them into two distinct categories. First, I would say it's from the origin or deployment perspective. We have a couple of solutions, and from the state perspective. So let's see the first perspective. If you think about the origin or a deployment perspective, the first like high-level architecture is same origin website. So your frontend and backend is hosted on the same origin under the same domain, and when you serve your application to the customer, you have this secure context, and you can use cookies, which are HTTP only, so they cannot be stolen via cross-site scripting, because JavaScript has no access to those secure HTTP only cookies, and you have this secure origin. So this is one of the options, and in this case, cookies are probably one of the best options to pick. But often this is not the case, that we have this secure context and we need to communicate with endpoints, and the nodes in our architecture are distributed. That's why I call it a distributed deployment, where the different pieces of the whole landscape are living on a different origins or a different domains. So for example, imagine that you have your app under app.com, then you have your API under api.com, and there is even an authorization server living on auth.com. And those yellow lines donate the origins boundary, which means there are some limitations. So first of all, we cannot cross the cookies through these boundaries. So now we have a problem because we cannot use cookies to implement authentication and authorization mechanisms. And in this case, we can make use of some kind of tokens and programmatically use it to implement our solution. So first, for example, imagine that you have an application and the user is trying to authenticate and authorize access to the application using auth.com system and receives some token. And then uses this token, putting it usually in HTTP header to execute query against API. So then this HTTP header can cross those boundaries. And this was this first perspective, right? We understand now that we can have different approaches to the problem of implementing this architecture. And there's another perspective. This is the state perspective, which is kind of a different view on the same problem. But now we are trying to think of the context of the user, because we know HTTP is stateless. So whenever we have subsequent requests after we log in, we would like to still be, authenticated and authorized. So the first approach is to create a session which would be stored in some kind of context or user state that will be living on the server side. And in this case, we can just pass this session ID to the browser and then use different mechanisms like cookies, tokens, or another means of transportation between server and the client. Because from this perspective, we don't say any about any means of transportation, because we covered it before. In this perspective, we need to think about it. Okay, we are going to use session ID regardless of the transportation mechanism, if it's cookies, if it's JSON Web Tokens, or another, or headers, whatever. We know that the state, which means that we know if the user is logged in, is on the server side, and we use session ID to provide this information with every request. And other approach is when the state, the fact of user being logged in or having particular role, admin, user, moderator, is not located on the server side, but actually baked into this information that we pass over and over between client and the server with every request. And this is then self-contained in a token. So for example, it can be JSON Web Token, it can be Passeto token. It has to have some proper security properties, like JSON Web Token has some of them. And then we store this token on the browser and use it to communicate and, attach it to every request that is coming out from the client to the server. And then this token would donate the information about the fact if the user is logged in or not, and more information about the particular user. And now, since we have different approaches, like we saw 4 different ideas, and what I mean by that in this step is to choose the proper authorization architecture implementation. And there are different factors actually that should be taken into consideration while you pick this one of those approaches. And there is no golden, winner. Each of them has their own pros and cons, and the whole idea here is to find the trade-off between security, technical feasibility, business requirements, and usability or user experience, right? Something may actually cause that, putting it into one of those dimensions may improve one of the properties of the system, but can actually downgrade the security or user experience, right? And the step number 4. So we have covered steps in our 7-step process. And the fourth step is to actually implement like a secure role-based, permission-based authorization. In this case, we may think of the shared account and different users with different roles interacting with the UI. There may be SPA, some API. So basically, we need a robust implementation of such an approach. And in this step, we have a couple of important sub-steps, like how to model the domain for multi-user account system, how to manage the permissions, how to design a secure API, how to convey this session information with user auth object, how to use interceptors, middlewares, how to show and hide particular components conditionally based on the user role in the system, and much, much more. So this is the step that is number 4. Step number 5. We need additional layers of security in order to improve our system in terms of being ultra secure. One of those, several of those ideas are here, like two-factor authentication. So not only the user needs to provide the password, but there is something more on top of that, which is the second factor. One-time password, SMS codes, iris scan, fingerprint scan, how to actually find the proper solution and implement it. Login throttling that can prevent brute force attacks, dictionary attacks, credential stuffing attacks, because hackers are smart, actually. They can use different techniques in order to break the system. Also, extra sanitization and validation of input data is absolutely necessary on the server side, not only on the front-end side, but also on the server side. We need to make sure that whatever the backend receives has to be sanitized and validated. Step number 6. We need to also know what is happening in the system. We want our system to be accountable, which means we know what happens, so that we have an insight, actually, if something happens, what's going on. So we need different levels of logging. First level of logging, I call access level logging. And then you log every HTTP request with the timestamp, URL, and IP, but this is not enough. On the different level, we would need to have application events logging. So you want to have a system, a mechanism that logs every meaningful application level event for the system. Accountability, as I said, who, when, and what did in the system. There was a login event, there was a registration event, there was a transaction. So we would like to log those events so that we can audit the system in the future if something goes wrong. And the last step is test your security. There are different mechanisms, different ways, but one of those tools that can be used and actually try to break the system is burp suit, to actually put ourselves into the shoes of an attacker, a hacker, and try to actually get into the system and break it. So that is actually quick intro into this 7-step process, which I want to actually invite you to, because now is the question how to master these skills. I will have a look at the chat right now if we have any questions. Not much. It looks like a lot of people would probably come to watch the recording of the session. No worries. It will stay on YouTube for some time, I hope. But now there is a second part of this presentation in which I would like to invite you to Web Security Academy, which is 12-week online bootcamp that is actually the perfect way to master these skills and be able to implement what we just discussed. You will learn all you need about full stack web application security, implement a secure role-based enterprise-grade authorization, and master OAuth, OpenID, and much, much more. So what is this Web Security Academy? I believe some of you already know that, but it's, in my opinion, a missing element with web development space. It's an effective program that you need to invest about 2 hours a week, and it's designed to make you confident about modern web application security, because it provides most important theory and coding practice with a premium live support with live meetings and Slack. And we are actually building this community. We already have a lot of amazing people in this community, because right now we are opening the gates for new people with this event. You will also have a chance to collaborate and integrate with other students in our program in private Slack channel. And the question is how this program looks like. It's 100% online. Lessons that you can consume and learn from are in form of on-demand, pre-recorded videos. They are based on the most important standards from Internet Engineering Task Force. You have homework assignments, you have online meetings for discussions with me and others. So it can be on Zoom or Google Meet, whatever we would like. First of all, we have different time zones, and depending on from where people come, if it's from other part of the world, that there is a totally different time zone, we will adapt to that so that we can meet. And we have this global community inside of closed Slack channel, and everything in an extremely friendly and practical fashion. No BS. This is a screenshot from one of our meetings, so you can see that there are real people together, not only learning but challenging their ideas inside of the community. And I want to just point out one important thing here, because one may say, I can just go and Google stuff, but it's not about the knowledge, because knowledge is free online. But the problem is it's scattered, distributed, fuzzy, and ambiguous. Searching for it, filtering and organizing the knowledge takes a lot of time. What I would like to invite you to is take part in this journey, which provides you curated, systematized knowledge delivered in an interesting and easily digestible fashion that optimizes for time. So we need a system and an amazing community with you, so you will never feel alone with the challenges during the learning process. By the end of this program, you will have complete understanding of the security model and fill your knowledge gaps, learn the different security vulnerabilities and industry standard prevention methods, know how to implement an ultra-secure role-based access control in a real-life project, master the complexity of OAuth OpenID Connect, and be able to implement different flows securely, and much, much more. So this is our agenda. Every week, starting from today, every Friday, we are going to drip next module. So today, if you join, you will already have access to the first big plan module with the instructions about how this program is going to actually be delivered and more details there. And starting from today, every next week, every Friday, the next module would be delivered. So web security model next week. So same origin policy, content security policies, hashes, nonsense, everything that will make you understand how this actually is organized. Week 3, we will take a look on different perspectives of the security over the web. Week 4, we would see different security vulnerabilities in action and the ways to prevent them to happen. Since week 5, we would be actually starting to building our project, defining different elements and establishing our application architecture. Then starting from week 6, we'll actually be implementing hands-on our features with the login, sign up from the back and from the front end. And then week number 7, we would like to bake in different security implementations on the client side. Week 8, we would need to secure our backend API with different mechanisms, also based on our real life project. Then week number 9, we will be implementing roles and account management. So, how to add a new user to the shared account, confirm the user, recover the password, and so on. Week number 10, and I don't know if you can see it, every week we are increasing the complexity. so that it is easy for you to follow and learn as we go. Week number 10, external authentication, huge stuff. OAuth 2.2. It's really complex, but it's broken down to small digestible pieces. Week 11, two-factor authentication. We'll implement it in our project. And then week 12, we would try to externalize everything that we have built into a external identity management system. We integrate Auth 0 to pull out many of the security implementations that we did into the product. So we can actually see how this identity as a service providers work. This is an option for somebody's and can be also utilized in the system. What do we have next? Bonus modules. On the top of that, we will also drip several modules like Firebase Security by Jeff Delaney from Fireship.io, GDPR and Legal Guide created with a cooperation with a lawyer. So when you build systems that deal with personal data, we need to actually be compliant with different regulations. And this is pretty nasty, but you have to know actually what it means in order to not have problems with the law. WebSocket security, how to build applications with WebSockets and make it secure. And so on and so on. What is included in the whole package? 12-week program, monthly live Q&A coaching sessions like this one, but with actually you being part of this meeting with your camera, with your microphone, talking with me and other students. We can actually review your code, challenge your ideas, you can ask questions and so on. 12 weeks of premium support during the program. You can catch me on Slack and ask a question if you are stuck. You are part of our closed community of developers learning together. You also can, if you are from, I don't know, different country and you don't use English, you have the English captions for every video lesson, and you can easily translate it to practically any language with the translator built into the browser. And after you go through the program, you would receive a certificate of graduation with your name on it. And also free of charge lifetime access to the materials and all the future updates, which is basically priceless. Because look, Hugo is with us from very beginning when the program was much, much smaller, and he still benefits from his lifetime access. This is his comment. Look, I was checking the current program and it's definitely bigger. I need to go back and check the new modules. I'm glad I got the lifetime subscription. So in my opinion, this is a steal of a deal. So what is the price? Do you have guys any ideas? Somebody may already know. There are different packages, but we start from the regular ticket, which actually costs 90 euros per week. And we have 12 weeks, and you can jump on board right now. wsa.dev would point you to Web Security Academy. So we are already inviting new members to our program. There is also a ticket fun edition, which you need to pay a little bit more, but you will receive stickers, mousepad, cap, t-shirt, or a hoodie as your fun edition package, and I will ship it to you free of charge if you purchase this fun edition ticket. One important thing, I also created a leaflet for your manager. If you are actually waiting for some kind of approval or sponsorship from the company, you can open wsa.dev/company PDF, and let's see it now. This is a small leaflet for your manager. If you can provide it to your company in order to convince them that this is important to invest in your skills. Result, just a summary of what I just said. You receive a system and a community so that it looks like that. It lasts for 12 weeks. The first several of weeks is focusing on the theory and some small coding labs presenting the theory in practice. Then we build our application, and then we are integrating external systems like OAuth, OpenID Connect with Google and GitHub. We use Google Authenticator, and then we externalize login, sign up, and all other features to Auth 0, which is what I called before identity as a service. How do I know it works? It's proven. You can just check out the testimonials on the page with people who took the part in this program, and it actually works. So you don't have to believe me. You can believe the folks like you who wrote those kind words, and they are presented on the website. There is one important detail. We need to gather our group. This is the first week, and registration closes in 7 days, exactly at 6 p.m. GMT, October 8th. So you have 7 days just to decide if you want to go with this group of us together during the 12 weeks. Okay. My mouse just broke. And you have two choices, in my opinion. Do nothing. Do not risk. We are all good. Or you can take action, learn a lot, and risk. Why would you risk? You don't risk anything because you have money back guarantee, 30 days, no question asked, money back guarantee. If you purchase, you don't like it, you send me an email, Bartos, I'm not satisfied, I don't have time, whatever. It's your choice. You will receive money back. Of course, you will be taken away the access to every part of the program. You will lose access to the videos, you will lose access to the community, and everything else included in the package. So, what is included in the Academy? That's just a summary. 12-week learning program, all the bonus modules, monthly live Q&As, 12 weeks of premium support, closed community, English caption, certificate, and priceless part, free of charge, lifetime access to the materials and future updates, as long as the project is alive, as long we are in the business. You don't have to pay anything extra in order to have an access to this program, which is still of a deal. Okay, just one thing to actually try to show you that this is kind of a good investment. You can either earn 50 euro, I don't know, but sometimes depending on where you are, it can be 1 hour of work to earn 50 euro, 49.90, or long hours for days wasted on trials and errors. It's up to you. Whew. I'm done with this part. Now, if you have any questions of how the program is actually structured or more, I was actually pretty precise with my estimation. I told you that it is going to take about half an hour. We are half an hour already streaming. And now, if you have any questions, that's a perfect time. We have Ali saying, it was good, thanks, but I need to go. Have a good weekend. Thank you, and also have a great weekend. If any of you have questions, you can also send me an email if you need something more. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a lot of people would rather hit for the replay and didn't join us live. That's not a problem. As I said, this recording would stay for several days at least on YouTube so that you can watch the recording. And do we have any questions? Alexandru, we have also a payment plan available. If you don't have the money right now, you can check on the website. There are different packages. And also, if you're a student, I can see you're 18 years old, hit me an email, and we support students, and we can create some student discount for you. If yeah, if you're 18 years old, you probably do not earn that much as a professional in the industry, and you want to invest in yourself. So again, send me an email. I will try my best to support you. Yeah, this is what Alexandru was saying. Mm. Whoa, we have our. There is this poll. How can I see the poll? Oh my gosh! According to the poll, you guys are all full stack ninjas. So you are perfect candidates to join Web Security Academy. Okay, I'm available over the email. If you have more questions, hit me. And thanks for today. See you hopefully soon.